Hello students, today I would like to do a quick note. This is more of an optional note as I've mentioned in class on quartiles in case you do need a little bit of a review on those. So the idea is a quartile is when you divide your information into 4 different quarters, and the reason why we do this is so we could see our information in a different light. We could see where the median is, and then we could see how much further is like the higher end, and in that case we'll talk about the MAD as well. So for quartiles, it starts off with, let's just mention what it is. Divide information, and I'm going to put in parentheses data set into 4 groups. And you could see the median along with the low end and the high end. All right, so in other words, the reason why we do quartiles is because you want to see where is your average or the middle person at, and how much higher are the high ends and how much lower are the low ends. So let's use a data set here of, we're just going to use 8 numbers. And so let's just write EX, for example. Let's say we have the number 2, 2, and then we have 4. We have somebody here with 6, and we have another 6. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to change that one to 8. 8, and then we have a 9. We have another 9, and then we have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 pieces of information, right? So, okay, from here, let's say this is like the average number of shoes that somebody has. And so we see that somebody here has 2 while the high end has 10. And so let's say you're a shoe company, right? Like, why would you use this? Because you might be a shoe company and you want to see, will my shoes be popular? Will people want to buy an additional pair of shoes if they already have functioning ones? And so what we start off is we're going to split this up into different quarters. So you're going to figure out like which one is your low end, which is Q1, and then you're going to figure out which one is your middle end, which is Q2, and your higher end, which is Q3. All right, because you don't want to take like the highest number necessarily or the lowest number. It might not be a fair assessment, right? If you just say, oh, most people have 2 shoes, well, then you're probably not going to want to sell those shoes. But if you think everyone wants 10 shoes, you might oversell these shoes. You might make too many shoes. All right, so we always start with the Q2. So that's what you're going to start with. I'm going to write like some instructions here. So start with Q2. The Q2 is the median. It is the middle number. Now, when you look at these data sets, I usually would draw a line where the middle is. And right now, the middle is in between these 2 numbers. And so, you know that the median is going to lie right there, whereas the Q1 and Q3 will be on opposite sides of that. So because it's in the middle, we have to find out what this average is. You can't just take that number and that's it. So what we're going to do here is, let me draw an arrow right there. And then you're going to find the average. So 6 plus 8 over 2. And you'll see that it's 14 divided by 2. So the average is 7. So then you know that your Q2 is going to be 7. Okay. So that's how you identify that number. Then for the Q1, you're going to look at the bottom half. So we want to see like the bottom quarter. Like, okay, let's see how many people are below that average there. And you're going to take or below the median. And you're going to take another line, draw it right in the middle of that data set. Again, because it's an even number, so you can't really use this that nicely. And then you'll just have to see, okay, so for this one, then what is the average here? So then you have, oops, not 6, but you have 2 plus 4 divided by 2. And that's going to be 6 divided by 2, which is 3. So you know that the bottom end, so the bottom half of people, the bottom quarter of people, they have a majority of 3 shoes. And then the last for the Q3, which is the high end, well, what about the people who do like buying shoes and have a lot of it? How much do they have? So you're going to, again, draw a line in the middle there. And then you're going to see that, okay, it's between two number 9s, right? So there's that. I'll draw this one right there too. And then so now 9 plus 9 divided by 2, and you're just going to get 9. So now you see that your bottom, your middle person has 7 shoes. Whereas the people who go higher, they have 2 more shoes than those people. And then the people who go lower, they have about 3 more shoes than those people. Or 4 less shoes, so 3 total. And so therefore, you could determine that your Q1 is equal to 3, Q2 is equal to 7, and the Q3 is equal to 9. And so from here, would it be a good idea to sell shoes? Well, because the average person or the median person has about 7, and you're not down to like 1 or 2 in the Q1, and the Q3 does go pretty high, you might want to sell shoes. It might be a good idea. Okay, so let's look at one more example. And in this example, we're going to take a look at what would it look like if people have, like if there's an odd number. So let's say we have 3, 4, 7, 9, 10, 10, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to use 9 data sets, 11, 12, and 12. So how do I use it in 9 data sets? Well, again, we're going to start by finding out the Q2. Now, I'm going to divide it in half, and if I look in the middle, it's actually right on the 10 this time. So this is usually a good thing because you don't even have to bother finding the average. If there is a median, you know that the median person has 10 shoes. So that's your Q2. Then you're going to take a look at the bottom half, which is the remainder of the numbers here. So when it's odd numbers, you have a slightly different way of looking at the data sets. You can skip that middle number there, and you just take a look at the numbers here, the leftover numbers. So you see that, oh, unfortunately, the middle doesn't end, like it's not right on a number, so it's not a nice enough number. In this case, then, you have to do the same thing again. So just do 4 plus 7 divided by 2. And you have 11 divided by 2, which is 5.5. So you see that the bottom end of people have about 5.5 shoes. And then for this one, same thing. It ends right in the middle there between 11 and 12. So then you're going to have to do 11 plus 12 divided by 2. And you are going to get 23. 23 divided by 2 is 11.5. And so then you're left with that number. So now you have your Q1 as 5.5, you have your Q2 as 10, and you have your Q3 as 11.5. So this leads to the next part, which is the MAD. So the MAD, if you look at the textbook here, it stands for the mean absolute deviation. So the mean absolute deviation is when you're trying to see how far from the average is each data. That's what you're trying to answer. So you're trying to see here, or you could see here that there's the average. And so you want to see, okay, when somebody gets a score or a point, like how far away are they from the average? So in this case, let's say we have somebody doing a test, and in the test, we have 4 different results. We have somebody getting an 8 on the test, we have somebody getting a 10 on the test, and then we have somebody getting a 13, and somebody getting a 17 on the test. So you want to see how far away are they from the average, assuming that the average is, you know, kind of the good number, the number that we we want most people to be at. So the people who are low, like the 8, how far away are they? And so what you do here is, first of all, you have to find what the average is. So I'm going to do 8 plus 10 plus 13 plus 17. And I know that I divide this number by 4. So that should give me 30, 40, 48. So I have 48 divided by 4, and therefore the average score here is 12. So in other words, an average person would just be at about 12. Okay, so then now you list out the, so this is the score. You have to make a table. And in the table, you're going to have one of them as the score and the other one as the MAD. Like, how far away are they from the deviation? How far off are they? Are they in a good range away, or do we need to do something about them? So we now list down the numbers again, 8, 10, 13, and 17. And then you could see here in the textbook, it says how many units away are they, right? That's what you're trying to look at. So from 12, I could see that usually what you do is you take the bigger number and just minus the smaller number when you compare it to the average. So 12 minus 8, so this is 4 units away. You have 10 minus 12, which is 2 units away. You have 13 minus 12, which is 1 unit away. And you have 17 minus 12, which is 5 units. So that's how you find the MAD. You put that in a little table, you box it, or make sure people know that it's there, and that's what you have. So the reason why you would want to find the MAD is because you would want to know how far off is a person from the average, regardless of whether they're on the higher end or the lower end. So there's that. So these are the things I'd like to review with you. And so I hope if you weren't sure what these are, that you could write them down, or now you're sure of how to find them. We'll talk more about how to apply them in class. All right, that's it.